What is going on? How's it going, everybody? It is the Honcho budget build finale. Matt has wrapped up his video. He went a couple hours. I'll probably do something around the same. What we've got here is the Honcho, and it was a great build. The whole series went super well. I would also like to let everybody know that I am in the middle of sinus season, evidently. So I sound terrible. I look almost as bad as I sound, and I will try my hardest not to be disgusting, but I can only do so much. I've taken sinus medicine. I've drank 5 green teas, but here we are. So we'll discuss the Honcho budget build as much as we can. Matt had an awesome feed going. He read through almost every comment, and there is no way I am going to be able to do that. Yes. So Matt did a couple of hours. I'm going to probably do around the same because I can't help but hear myself talk for at least that long. God, thanks everyone for checking in already. There's no way I'm going to be able to get through all of these comments. I did get Matt to dance. I threw digital dollars at Matt until he danced on live video. Everybody needs to remember that. Matt is basically a cam girl now. So there you go. Oh yeah. So we have the Honcho here. The Honcho ended today, and the Deadbolt is here. The Deadbolt 2. Underneath of the new Deadbolt body is basically the same thing as the Honcho, though. That they're almost identical cars. So, it kind of shows us how far this truck came, from the stock vehicle. Man, there's a lot of comments already. Sorry. Will the budget be at Parker Fest West? I'm not sure yet. Parker Fest West is not very far from me. I might make it up there. Love the series. Brought a Honcho for it. Man. Where's the F's? I don't know what you mean. I hope you could read faster than Matt. Let's hope that I can. I'm going to try and get through as many comments as I possibly can. Let's see. Do a live neti pot. That might make a better video than listening to me talk with this. Matt danced. That is true. It's all we need to know is that I paid Matt enough dollars to make him dance. Deadbolt 2 budget build. No, we are not doing another budget build right now. The budget build, that's enough for right now. I've done 4 of these series now. This was the one. I've never had one that I never missed a week on for 16 weeks though. So that was a first. That was definitely because Matt, we both kind of kept each other going, making sure that we didn't miss a week or anything like that. So about 7 drinks in already. For people who don't know, evidently, this is not any of my doing, but people have started their own drinking game about whenever I flex or, compress the suspension in a car. I have like a nervous tick that I do this when I'm doing live videos. Thanks, John. Watched every single one of the videos of the budget builds. Gonna have to read faster than that, Matt. No way. Let's see. Man, I don't know. I might have cold medicine brain too. So at the same time as I'm gonna try and read as fast as I can. We'll see how we go. You should put a brushless Tekin T8 in the Deadbolt and see how it holds up. You know what? I've thought about something like that before. Just put the most ridiculous motor in something as we can, and then just upgrade only the part that breaks until we get through it, just to see where it goes. That I've thought about that, and then at the same time, it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. It's a lot of work. So we'll see. So anyway, and the other thing about the budget build, this one is over. It's a lot of work. I've done 4 in the past. Each of them, they're all a lot of work. And before they all kind of just tapered off. This one we actually kind of put a hard stop to. Everyone can have a satisfying end to it. And not that we finished these builds. There's plenty that you could still do. But I think that is it was a fitting time for this, a fitting end. And Matt and I both have a ton of projects coming up that we both just need to get to and spend some more time on. Although at the same time, I do have some more video stuff that is going to, you know, take up a lot more time as well. Dance press. Hello from RC Juice. Hey, RC Juice here in Sacramento as well, not too far from my house. So I've been using their batteries lately. So thanks to RC Juice. It is nice that they're close to me. I've been with all of your builds since 450 subs. Oh, thanks. That I started this channel in like 2011, I believe, 2011 or 2012. So that was a while ago. I think I did I can't even remember. I was doing most of the videos just from my phone, editing on my phone and uploading, and then slowly picking up some equipment and, you know, editing on a real laptop. Why is most of the SCX10 products Vanquish shells sold out? I don't know if you mean SCX10 or SCX10 II. SCX10, you know, we are a decent sized shop, but we're a small shop still. And, you know, right now being a busy time of the year and things like that, people buy a lot of products. We only have so many machines that we can make so many parts. So we have to make the parts that are the most popular so that we can, you know, try and sell what satisfies the most amount of people. But when we can't necessarily even keep up on those, that means that some of the older parts will suffer. So, you know, if we had unlimited capacity, we would have unlimited parts, but it's just not the case. So during these busy times, we do everything we can to try and get everybody the most amount of parts that they can. You guys should trade rigs. No, I like my rig. I like how I drive it, and I cheated more on the budget than Matt did, so it's worth more. Sorry. I'm missing comments. I apologize if I'm missing a comment. I'm trying not to skip over them. They're just going fast, and I'm going to try and stay focused on the comments and responding to your guys' questions as we can. I think the first video I watched was from the Woods Runner. My Scout. I did love that Scout build. That's probably my favorite build I've ever done. I'll do another Scout before too long. It's definitely something I want to do. Is there anything that can be done about the factory shocks leaking oil? Add more oil. You can try and rebuild them. You can do every trick in the book. They're just going to leak. There's nothing left in these shocks. And it's funny that Matt was the first one to put incision shocks on, and I did not. Hope to meet you and Matt at Axial Fest. We'll both be there. I'll be easy to find. I'll be wearing orange most likely. Greg, thanks for that. Oh man, sorry. Hello from Norway. What's your thoughts on Cross RC SR4 Demon? The Honchos turned out really awesome. Thank you, Gordo. SR4 Demon, I've seen one in person. Worth more, that's debatable. Yeah. Retail value. The Demon, it looked like a nice truck. It's not my style truck. The suspension is high. Sorry about, for any of you guys who don't know, this video is being taped, showing my age, filmed, still not right, not too far away from CNC machines. So those are right in the other room. That's what that whining sound is. It's not audio feedback. It's just machines. Anyway, Cross SR4 Demon, saw it in person. For what they're doing, I get it. You know, the hard body thing and things like that. Hard bodies just really aren't for me in a lot of ways. And the suspension on that thing was pretty wonky. It's super high, but a lot of the details they did were cool. So maybe it could be, you know, fixed to make it better, but I don't know. It's okay. I need some VP love for my Roomba. Yeah. Speaking of VP love for random projects, Dancing Rider. It's high on the list. What products did you cheat on? I cheated on the servo. That was the only thing I cheated on, I think. You know, gave you options and things like that. You could use a weaker servo. You could do just, and I put in a nice servo. I only use nice servos, and I hate not running like a super nice servo. I cheated, straight up cheated. Autograph section at Axial Fest. Thanks, John. Hello from California. Hello to you in Canada from California. Will the taillights in the Honcho be available? They are available. They're linked in the description of most of the videos. The 3D printed cab corner taillights, you can buy them through Shapeways. So yeah, the feedback, that's not feedback, that's machines. What's the best upgrade you can do on any trail truck? You can't say, there is no blanket answer to that. Some trail trucks come with really crappy parts in some areas and nice in the other, and then some of them are vice versa. So depends on the truck. There is no this, you know. Let's see. Pretty nice VHS quality. Didn't know you could do live from them. Let's see. Best upgrade is free. Thoughts on the TFL Bronco? You know, I like the idea. It's a cage with a kind of a hard body, but it's a fiberglass body, and the TFL stuff in general is just, they're not a company that's going to be around. They don't care. They're just there. I don't know. Not a company that I have any respect for, or, you know, have any feelings that they'll stand behind anything they do. Remember when the all-new SCX-10 scaler came out years ago? Of course I do. Yes, I do. Jeff Boyd. Hello, man. Long time. Are you going to dance? Not until Matt starts throwing those dollars. And he said that he wasn't. So therefore, no dancing. What about making some Bankers products apparel for all of us VP groupies to buy and learn? That's another thing we'd like to do. Talked about it, you know. It's just, there's only so much to do. Let's see. I love the ProTech 370 TBL. 370 TBL is a great servo too. It's very similar to the price of the servo that I'm running in here, which is the Futaba S9177. This one's a little bit faster. It's waterproof still. It's got great gears. I really like that 370. It's a little bit slow, but an awesome servo. Any more videos on the 2017 CRC? I don't think so. I had plans for it. Then the Honcho came out. Now the deadbolt's out. It's like, I've only got so much time, and I've got a ton of other things to do still. So I'm like, I don't think that Jeep's going to make a return. Great stuff you're doing for the hobby, Josh. I'm a support for sure. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. Got any corn? Yes. I'll give you a penny. Thanks, man. We need freaking BDI video. I do have the BDI still. It's on the other side of the wall. Still need to get it wrapped up. Let's see. Wow, don't think I'll make it to the end of the video. Yeah, it could be a long one. I ran out of wine. Thank you, everyone. Is it going to get a set of the new portals? I don't know which one. Neither of these two trucks will get portals. The portals are currently under my UC Fab car, and I built this car for portals, and that's what I think that portals belong under things that you really want to set up for portals and things like that, and this car is great for that specifically. And then I've been working on other details for this car, like the fuel cell in the back. All the stuff's just kind of sitting in there. 3D printed radiator, fuel cell, all that. And then the new 3D printed hood that, before it gets all the decals. And then my new under hood ESC mount setup. So all of that, you can see there, see the Mamba X under there? Yeah. So lots of panels and details to get caught up on that. Come crawl in Michigan. I haven't been to Michigan in a while. I don't think I've ever crawled in Michigan, just kind of drove through. Someone has to do a 2-speed conversion on the SCX-10 ready to run. It will not be me. I am not a fan of 2-speeds in electric cars. Good brushless system will get you all of the performance that 2-speed was going to without any of the other stuff. Any of those other fail points or extra electronics or anything like that. And if you just spend the extra money that 2-speed was going to cost you on a good brushless system, there you're ahead. You got a better car. Matt and Josh U.S. tour. There we go. You're gonna have to get Matt to get to the U.S. first. We literally couldn't be. I mean, we're almost as far away as possible. Now that the build series is over, are you going to wrap the Honcho? I had intentions of wrapping this thing, and maybe not a full wrap, but like a partial wrap or something like that during it, and it just didn't happen. I only had so many things to get done, and it just didn't work out that way. But I don't know. I might not touch it really until Axial Fest, where Matt and I run. It might just stay like it is, and that might be because I have way too many projects to work on. So this thing may just get called done for now. Leaky, crappy stock shocks and all, just like it is. I'm sad about Roadkill not being on YouTube anymore. Me too. I still have not gone over to Motive Trend on Demand and watched it. It's not where I'm at to watch things. It still makes me mad. Do I have time for a bad run? I don't know what you mean by a bad run. Beer run, maybe? Yes, I'll be here. And an ICP fan too. I don't know what that's in regard to, but I will say that I was an ICP fan growing up. The dating game, I've listened to that thing a million times. Wife said no more budget builds because your videos of me buying something every week, and I'm sticking to the budget. Thank you, Scuba Steve. Any more bomber videos coming? Not anytime soon. It's just like everything. I'm like, I only have I only have so much time because this stuff has to happen after work, and it takes a long time. I do have like a new series that I'm going to get started on the next couple weeks, and I think this is going to be the first time I'm actually it's going to be a new thing for me. It is going to be a budget series, not a budget build like this series, but something different and kind of cool. It'll be a competition, and we're going to film it all in advance, and then I'm going to edit all of it together and post it on the channel weekly, but it'll almost all be done other than like the payoff video, which will be at the end. So I'm looking forward to that. But that one, it's going to start in a couple weeks. I think we're going to go for 3 weeks before the payoff. So I think it'll be like probably 5 weeks before that is actually out. Let's see. Keep cycling those shocks and I will be drunk off my I don't think anybody could actually drink the whole time that I do this. Thoughts on the Capo 1/8 Jeep for 2800? The thoughts are that there's one back there that the parts don't fit. Couldn't get them to send me the right parts. I had 35 emails back and forth with them, and just they're a very, very disappointing company. Will you ever consider a performance head-to-head build-off? I don't. Sorry, I don't know what that was. I don't think that there could have been necessarily a better combination for or contrast to my style than Matt's style and things like that. I don't know that it would have been almost as interesting to watch someone trying to do the same style as me. I think it really worked out well with Matt. Couldn't have been happier that that's how we attacked it. And I think that in the end, that was it. It was just the best competition, or build off. Not competition, it's collaboration is the word I was looking for there. That could have been for me. And Matt's editing style and things like that are far better. He does an amazing job at that. Everything worked out really well. It helped push and keep everybody on track. I just think that that worked out. So it's like searching out someone to do performance head-to-head. Just I don't think that that's what I would have gone for. Will you do a TRX4 budget build? I don't think so. It took a long time before I did an SCX-10-2 budget build, just because when a truck first comes out, like I'd get a lot of people asking me, are you gonna do a budget build on it? It's like, well, no, because you need the parts to be available. all of them available to do a budget build and make it make sense. It needs to have a path that makes sense to make your truck durable and look good and all of those things. And honestly, the TRX4 is like a really well done platform. It's one of the best platforms, in all honesty. I mean, design is very good, and all of that, but it just doesn't have. I obviously like portals, and I'm not saying that I don't like the Traxxas portals because they're a really well done plastic portal, but I don't like the parts that I'm seeing for the Traxxas. It doesn't really, nothing excites me on that truck. It's like I could buy the truck and then do the things that I would want to do to it, which is remove the lockers, remove the 2-speed. But like right away, that is going to take and turn off most of the Traxxas TRX4 people, because Traxxas TRX4 people are a different group of buyers than, a lot of us. And it's not a bad thing. It's just maybe there's going to be like Traxxas fans, and I'm not saying that there isn't just straight up fans in SCX10 in that group as well, but I don't know. It's just that truck is just not exciting to me, and I wish that it was, and blah blah blah. I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for it, but I just don't think that I'll be doing a TRX4 build series in the near future. If I was only doing it for, views and YouTube views, I would put out my 6S skate park, TRX4 video and 60 miles an hour TRX4 and all that, and, go for YouTube fans, but I don't care that much. I do care, and I do a lot of things specifically because they'll do well on YouTube, but not that car. I'll leave that one to the I can't remember what that guy's, the UK guy's Traxxas stuff, whatever that guy is. Let's see. Where's your beer? Not for me. So when does the SCX-10 Deadbolt budget build series start? Next week, or are you going to take a week off? That's not funny, Josh. I'm a skate park. So yes, here's all of your bench flexing deadbolt action. I'm going to do a couple of videos on this one. We'll do a kind of a breakdown intro of it for the people who, that would be like the straight up YouTube video. People who are researching a deadbolt and who want one, it will have the information for them. Those of you who have intimate knowledge of exactly all of the inner workings and things like that, not going to be a ton of new information for you, because it's basically this truck with a different body and a shorter wheelbase. But we'll do that. I'll do a running video, and then from there I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do, because I am SCX-10 build series out right now. Build series. That's a new word. Series. Series? Series is a word? Maybe not. I don't know. Get the new JK Max from Capo. I will never own another Capo again, I promise. While we're on the topic of well, I'm not ragging on Kevin. Kevin Talbot. He is just not my style. I get his style. He is a professional YouTuber, by the way. That's all he does. That's his full-time job, is YouTube. So if I was going full-time YouTube job status, that is the way to do it. You do the things that get views, and you try and be as entertaining as possible when you're doing it. That's the way you do things. That's not how I'll be, full-time YouTube is not at all the path that I am taking. My full-time job will be, I hope, RC related for a very long time. But it's going to be, creating RC stuff, not creating just videos to get views. So, but that's what he's doing. Info on a Barrage Gen 2. I don't know any info on it really. I've seen a little bit about it, but I haven't really looked into it that much. You know, I know the Barrage before just was kind of almost an MRC based deal. So not that that's a bad car. It's just not my type of car as far as, you know, I like to overpower things. It uses a smaller motor, I believe, which isn't going to be as torquey, not going to be as performance oriented. In reality, it's like I want a 10 scale car or bigger. You know, I would love a legit scale, 5th scale car, because that would be awesome. But I want 10 scale or bigger. That car could probably be good for beginners or people who are wanting to get in on the cheap, but it's just not going to be my thing. Would the Vanquish portals work under an SCX-10.2 platform really well? Yeah, I mean, they're based on an SCX-10.2 axle. So you could throw them right underneath there, and you're going to maintain all of your current clearances and travels. You're just going to gain that 13 millimeters of diff and diff clearance. But it is going to raise your ride height 13 millimeters. So unless you build a car that you can then offset that somehow, that's what you're going to run into. It's OD green. It's kind of OD green. It's kind of not at the same time. You know, it's a weird color. I don't know what to say. It's just a weird color. I personally liked the like bright, crazy green of the old Deadbolt though. But it's just like, you know, that's why what did my dad always say growing up? That's why they make brown shoes and black shoes. Some people like brown shoes, some people like black shoes. There you go. I did take a week off of the Scale News update on Monday because I was back in Missouri visiting family. And when I come back this week, on my list of topics, discussing bodies is on there as like the topic to discuss at the end. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to be full-time YouTube, you're either in it. You got to make money. People have families and they got to buy health insurance unless they're in Canada. I'm not going to say I'm ignorant in the fact that I don't know how the UK handles health insurance. I should know that, but maybe you know, people have families to feed or feed themselves and buy, you know, it's a different game. Josh, gonna get into 5th scale gas? No, I had a 5th scale gas car. I would love like a real legit 5th scale scaler, electric though. But for me, it's just not gonna. Best ways to offset the extra height from the portals. You know, you gotta run your shocks in the right position. Make sure that it's setting right. There's a lot, you know, there's a lot to it. This truck, if I'm holding it at ride height, these rear links go almost a little bit uphill. I think the fronts do too. And that's like at ride height. So they kind of go up from the skid plate. But that's, you know, I wanted this car to have a lot of up travel. I was building it specifically for that. And I think a lot of people who are interested in spending that kind of money on a set of axles, I mean, they're not cheap. It's $500 for a complete pair of front and rear axles. And, you know, a lot of people who are going to be interested in spending that kind of money are going to be interested in putting them under a project that has, you know, is built around them or things like that. So not going to be everybody's style, but for some people. I am going to grab another water so I can maintain my voice. Let's see. Where we go? Where's your 124th Barrage? It is here. Still like it. A lot of fun. Canyon Core. Never gets old. My new build is an SCX-10.2 based. I'm not ready to buy your portals yet. What would good axles for a bit cheaper, around $200-300 for front and rear complete? You can buy axial released AR44 kits complete for like $70 an axle. Buy a couple of those, put them underneath there. Based on SCX-10, upgrade as you want. Should be good to go. Do you go fishing? Yes, I go fishing. Every time I'm in Missouri, because that's where my family lives. My dad lives there. He fishes every day. So as soon as I go back to Missouri, I always go fishing. So I don't fish out here much, though. I don't know. It's like fishing with my dad. Let's see. What's the first time I've seen the new color? I like it. Good. A lot of people will. Some people won't. What electronics do you replace first in an axial RTR? The servo. Always the servo. Let's see. Underdrive diff gear set for the Ascender by Vanquish on the horizon. No, it's not. It's just how it's designed. What smartphone do you like? Hashtag Galaxy S9 Plus. I am an Apple fanboy. So I run a Plus. I don't run the X. This is being filmed on my MacBook Pro. You know, all the Apple everywhere. You know, do you run Traxxas RCs? I don't know. I don't have anything against Traxxas. I really like what Traxxas does. I would own one of their UDRs. I just don't yet. I've just been spending too much money on camera equipment. Thoughts on the Cragsman? The 1/8 scale one from Traction. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I don't love their chassis. The body didn't look bad, but just another one of those companies I don't think is going to be in it, you know, for the long run or care about who's buying their stuff. Is this still a conference room or now your studio? It is still a conference room. This is a very mobile situation you're seeing here. So I have a cart basically that it's all of my camera gear and stuff sits on this cart, and when I'm done, all goes back on it and it rolls back into my office. Other than the studio lighting that I have, but like my laptop right now is sitting on a dual arm mount for like a desk. So I cut a hole in the cart, and that whole thing kind of bolts through it, and then my laptop goes on this arm, and then I can move it around and swing it to wherever. When I'm done, it all just folds back in, and I go on my merry way. Hey Josh, when you come race with Dan and us at LSR, you're missing out, man. Maybe sneak out the U4 too. SCAGs 510. You should see me try and drive fast. You will understand why you have never seen me. Do you think the AR44 axial axles would work under an original SCX 10-1? They will, but you'll need a link kit. And then it also kind of depends. You put the SCX-10-2 axles under an original SCX-10, you have to figure out how you're going to mount your servo. If you're going to do chassis mounted, if you're going to do that, you need to make sure you get a chassis mount or a servo mount and a panhard mount. Or you need to find an axle or a servo on axle mount to take care of your steering. So there's some stuff there to figure out. Are you going to swap meet at RC Country on Saturday? Yes. Oh shit, that's Saturday. Sorry. I'm definitely going, and I also committed to another event, but RC swap meets are very much more important than anything else. I will be there absolutely Saturday, bright and early. And actually, alrighty then. So that is actually where I'm going to start the new video series. So it starts this Saturday. I'm going to film for 3 weeks. So the new build series will probably debut in 4 weeks. Alrighty then. Thank you for the reminder, Ed. I would have missed that. Just got the barrage for my son. Are you going to continue videos on that build? Yeah, my little 124th, I am. I got a clear body for it and a lipo and some other stuff like that. So I need to do some more stuff like that. I'm going to paint that clear body like a Tide Pod, I think, and then make a little Eat Me license plate. I think that's appropriate. That was also what I was kind of thinking for my Tiny Dancer, was a Tide Pod, but it just didn't happen in time. I've been fishing and taking the trail truck too. See, I rarely shore fish, so my parents live on Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, which is an enormous lake. It's got more shoreline mileage than the whole state of California, basically. But it's a dam created lake, so it's got very steep shorelines and things like that. It's kind of hard to shore fish. Not impossible by any means to find the right spot, but it's also hard to get to cool spots, and a boat's much easier. My wife doesn't share my same excitement about a 13 millimeter more clearance for $500. Great comment, Scuba Steve. What's the crawler with the portals? That's my UC Fab custom build. That's a custom chassis, all that. There'll be more on this. I'm kind of to shoot a video for the release of these axles. And I just haven't, I didn't finish it. So I am going to take the time and finish it how I really want to now, though, because I really like this build, and it's something I'm excited to do it right. Dang, I didn't realize that I was missing so many comments. I had scrolled and it had stopped, and then oh, dang it. I'm pulling a Matt. I'm way behind on comments. Where are we at? Sorry. Oh. Dang. All right. I'm sorry. I like custom PCs and Samsungs, not iOS. I know what you mean. I run PC for work, Apple for video and photos and all that kind of stuff. The new UDR is badass on 8S. It's a cool truck. I like what they did there. Can you make all brass axles? Not interested. Thank you. An engineer that uses Apple, real suspicious. Yes, it is. But like I said, I have to use PC for work. So I run two computers, Mac and PC. PC is for things that has to get work done. Do you think Arma would make a good crawler? I don't think that they will let Arma make a crawler, because Arma is owned, well, Arma is now owned by Horizon, who also owns Axial, and I don't think that they need any more confusion on what companies are supposed to be doing what under that umbrella right now. I could see them killing off, the others, like the Terra crawler, the Ascender. I could see them killing that off, focusing on Axial. And otherwise, though, I could have seen Arma doing that, but I don't think that, people may look at these things like simple trucks and things like that, but you've seen how a lot of companies think that a crawler should be, and coming out against something that people who know the market have worked on and designed and things like that. And it's clear who really knows the market and not just who can actually design a truck. There's a lot to it, and I don't take anything away from people who know how to design and know the market. Do you allow visitors at the Vanquish shop? We do not. It is a closed facility. If you don't make it to Parker Fest West, you're more than welcome to come up north and run Mini Moab. Ooh, Mini Moab. Interesting, Dustin. I hadn't heard of that. I'll have to look into that. Let's see. Dang it! It just jumped. Sorry. Let's see. What is your favorite budget builds you have ever done? I mean, it's probably this. The thing is like I hate every video I've ever done if it's older than like 2 weeks ago. It's just like, also one of the things with the budget build is like, it's so much work that I don't have a lot of time to like try and work and improve on things as much. But I always try to learn something. I'm a very amateur video editor, and videographer in general. So I'm trying to figure out and learn and improve and things like that. But like the budget build is just like, gotta film, gotta edit, gotta post it. All right, take a breath. Gotta film scale news update. Crap, gotta do my budget build. Like I don't have that time. So I'm always trying to improve or whatever, and I'm always trying to make sure that I keep my tempo going well. But so it's like watching any video that I did beforehand, it drives me insane. Like, oh, it's the most boring thing I've ever watched. How does anybody watch that? Ugh. So currently it would be this one. You and Matt do a build off at Axial Fest, and then let the fans judge them. Like, do the actual build there, like wrench on, $50, new truck. No, I cannot hear the words budget build right now. Ozark on Netflix was great. Yes, it was. However, not filmed at the Ozarks. I think it was actually filmed in Georgia. They did go to the Ozarks and do some like casting. Maybe they shot some things there, but most of that series not filmed at Lakes of the Ozarks. But there you go. There's your bit of knowledge for the day. It keeps jumping. 18 trails this year at Axial Fest, right? Yeah. Hey, Josh, can't seem to find the window mesh for the bomber from UC Fab. Any idea where else I can buy them? I don't know. Sorry, I wish I had that answer for you. Hi, Josh. Do you know where you can get a 3D printed body? Oof. I would ask Matt on those. Ask SBG. I know that there's vendors that I think like MFab is a thing. Pretty sure that is somebody. And then who's the guy who makes the lights? Power something. Somebody write that in the comment. Power something technologies or something like that. Power Shift Technologies. Is that right? He's been doing them. Those incision gears for the AR-60 are bomb-proof. We tested them for a long time, and they held up great. Everybody hit the like button now. Yes, good idea, Brian. Hit the like button now. We're at 61 likes and 122 people watching. Should have at least 122 likes. 123 maybe. Let's see. Am I selling anything at the RC Country Swap Meet? Yes. I've got a big box of things that I was going to take to the Folsom Swap Meet, and then they just like announced that Folsom Hobbytown was closing. I was like, what the? So mad. But yeah, I got a bunch of stuff that I'm taking there. Little stuff, odds and ends stuff, takeoff parts and stuff like that. I actually have all of the parts from this truck, all the takeoff parts from this truck in a box, and I didn't throw them in that one yet, but I might. It's just little stuff like that. Nothing like major or super cool. Just little stuff that I don't need around. Do I have any more plans for the Honcho? I did have like this grand planned idea that I was going to take this Honcho and put a bunch more stuff on it tonight during this live feed. But then I'm sorry, my voice, we'll see how long my voice actually holds out. But then I just kind of thought about it, and I think that I might just leave this truck alone until Axial Fest. It may stay just like it is, and I'll just leave it at that. It's all there then. The one thing that I'm going to do is I am going to put together an article listing every single part, and everything. I'll put that all on my website. So anybody who has any questions about it, every part will be on that list then. So anybody could see every single part, link to every video, that whole deal, just to make sure that it's all in one spot. You can see it. You can easily find it. Bring back the intro from the Deadbolt budget build. I did like that intro as well. I do need to get more intros done and things like that. So yeah. Let's see. We call it Mini Moab. It's in Eureka, California, where Parker Crest West is. I'll have to look into that. What do you think about the new Capo JK Max? Not a fan. Let's see. Thoughts on the Charisma Coyote? Sorry, again, I'm super fired. Sorry. So I had one of the Charismas in hand. I don't know. I don't like. I don't know why I don't like it. I could feel the chassis rails were kind of flimsy and thin, and everyone's like, "Oh, I made it through it. 6-hour endurance at G6." Like, if a car can't make it 6 hours, trying to, like, your goal is I'm going to make it past this. Like, that's only 6 hours. Now, granted, you can go take a stock Honcho or this deadbolt out, and you can break it in 10 minutes if you want to break the servo. You can do it. Stock servos only are going to last so much, but I guarantee that servo's not any better. It's just, I can make this car last 6 hours without a problem. I can make it last 60 hours probably without a problem. But you got to drive it out. I just don't find that selling thing. Like, you don't have to. All you have to do is just be there. Say you made it 6 hours. It's not. I really like competing in or running in G6s. They're a lot of fun. But no, I'm just saying the certified thing is. I'm not gonna give them that one. But I would say it. It's just. Do you still have the other deadbolt? I do not have that anymore, but a friend of mine does. Tony Mazza here, local. He has got my old deadbolt now. Let's see. Power Hobby. I don't know Power Hobby. I don't know that I've heard of. Thoughts on the Losi Nightcrawler SE? I've got one of those here. I need to go run it. I haven't ran a worm gear axle in a long time. I mean, it's basically a comp crawler with 1.9 wheels and tires. So, need to go drive it. See what it is. Power shift technology. Yes, there you go. Let's see. I would donate $10. Don't have a credit card. I don't know what you mean. Oh, you mean for that? You don't need to. Wait, Folsom Hobby Town is closing. Yeah, Folsom Hobby Town closed. They're not closing. They closed a while ago. Kind of a bummer. I think maybe they're looking for a new spot. So they didn't I think they're looking for a new spot, but they are currently closed. So they had like a landlord lease issue thing. I don't know the whole story, but kind of a bummer. J scale for 3D printed bodies. There you go. Concord closing down just a few months ago. Yeah, I never made it to that one. Wish I would have. Brother, you got to send me that shirt. Oh, this is from the Nostalgia Drags in near Pittsburgh, Kansas. The what do they call it? The Ham Drags. HAMB ham. Half-ass message board is what it's standard for. I'm not. I got cold medicine brain. Sorry. At least they're on a set of incision shocks. If nothing else, I may do just that. Just because, these shocks are wasted on this car. This car in the front end, it doesn't sit on anything. You're safe from your drinking game because I can't flex it. It's on the tie rod. So unless I can flex it side to side, or lift it up, but as soon as you let go, it's straight back down. You got a UDR at the shop. You should stop by and check it out. Dan, we got a UDR at the shop. Dan, where are you from? Oh, RC Juice. Actually, I saw that you guys posted a video about that today. And I actually do plan on stopping by RC Juice because this build, I want to get just the perfect size battery for it. So I wanted to bring the truck by and abuse the fact that I can go there and try out some different size batteries. I still couldn't find your voltage meter. I looked for it. I know, and that is completely my fault. I've dropped the ball on getting that updated file uploaded. That is my fault. That is not your fault for not being able to look. 100% my fault. I will get that taken care of. Because honestly, the voltmeter in the dash of this car has become I've got to put it in every car. I use it every time I'm trail riding now, I can just look in there, see about where my battery's at. I'm not by any means saying I'm the first one to put a voltmeter in a car, but this one came out awesome. I love it, and I'm putting it in everything else because so goddamn handy. Folsom closed over a month ago. He claims to be reopening in a month or so, but he has been selling off his stock on the local Facebook pages. I did see that. Skaggs. Oh, DJ Skaggs. I didn't put the name together with real names that I know. I'm starting to sober back up. Bring the truck back in front of you. We can just bring them both in there. You can just, there you go. I don't like doing that with two hands. That feels wrong. Can I get 45 degrees of steering on an SCX10? You can get 45 degrees of steering, absolutely. Just gotta work at it a little bit, or put in VVDs. Holy shit! I am just RC Country for the win. RC Country is an amazing so I went and filmed a hobby shop tour at RC Country the other day, and I forgot to plug in my freaking microphone on my SLR. So I've got like terrible audio. I was so bummed. And it's like RC Country is an awesome shop, but it's in like near downtown Sacramento, which is kind of a pain for me to get to, and especially it's the opposite way I go after work, and it closes a little bit early. That's the one thing I don't like about RC Country. It closes too early for me. So I need to go refilm so that I can get like such a bummer. I hate when I do that. What's your thoughts on using an ammo can for storing and charging lipos? An ammo can is where I store all my lipos. I've got a few of them. I don't charge them in that because I don't have like ports drilled and things like that. I charge in a lipo sack and I store in an ammo can. Any BPC stuff on your rigs? I've got BPC stuff on a few rigs, battery trays mainly though. BPC stuff's cool. BPC is local is to me as well. BPC I think stands for Bruce Peace Chassis. Bruce is one of the guys. He's the guy for BPC, I guess, but he's at RC Country as well. Josh, are you still using those Hobby Star batteries? What sizes were you using? Yes, I use them. That's all I use in this rig. I'm using a 5200 milliamp 3S and a 3000 milliamp 3S. The 5200 is fantastic, gives me tons of runtime, but it's the weight of a 5200, so it's a little bit heavy. And a lot of people run a heavy battery in an SCX10 too. But that 3000 is like this nice little pack. I push it to the rear of the battery tray, kind of gives me a better balance. And I love driving this truck with that 3000 milliamp pack. It is really just a nice balance. And I say that's all I've been using in here is because I actually changed this truck over to XT60 battery plugs. Same as what I did on that UC Fab car. As I go, I'm just changing my cars all over to XT60. I really like that battery plug. And it's, I don't know, something else that I can complain about. Have you ever built a G-Made sawback kit? If so, what's your thoughts? Yeah, still have one here. There's certain things about that kit that I really liked what they did. One of like the smallest details is that on their C-channel chassis rails, they've got like legit body mount flare outs, like a real truck has the body mount mounts that come off the chassis. So cool. I loved that little detail about that chassis. But then it's got leaf springs. I hate leaf springs. Leaf springs are appropriate in a lot of situations. On that car, they kind of are appropriate, but I don't like leaf springs for performance. It's just not my thing. There was, let's see, they had the front mounted motor box thing, kind of a cool thing. I've used that on some other builds before. There's this, I don't know, the axles I didn't really care for. Not a terrible truck, I just don't like, I'm not a big fan of G-Made. What style of axles does the Dingo have? Are they like the ones on the Honcho? The Dingo was only made in the original SCX10, and that has the original SCX10 axles on it, which are exactly the same as the original Honcho or the original any other SCX10. The SCX10-2, like these two trucks, runs the AR44 axle, which is different. Wait, are you in CP? Because if so, you're really close to me. I don't know what CP means. I'm in California, if you meant CA. But the P and the A are really long ways apart on the keyboard, so I don't know how you made that typo, if so. Let's see. What's that? Oh, sorry, that was already on there. Oh my God, I'm so far behind on comments. Now I see how Matt got so far behind. I mean, he was ridiculous far behind that. There's no excuse, but let's see. RC Country Hobby is the one off Folsom Boulevard, Sacramento. Yes, that is correct. Yes, Folsom Boulevard, but that's downtown, not in Folsom. Any BPC chassis builds in the future? No. While I like a lot of BPC stuff, in general, I don't like flat plate chassis. Even any of the popular ones. We're beyond the point where anybody should be using a flat plate chassis. There is quality steel, true scale C-channel frame rails available. Flat rail chassis are terrible. I will stand behind that, and I don't like them. We're building scale trucks. Stop taking off good chassis and using a flat rail chassis. Ridiculous. I got my permission slip signed. Can I come tour the facility? Brazen flip your lid kit on the Honcho makes everything so simple, especially with all the LED lighting I have. Not have to remove the shell, rare earth magnets in the front, no more body pins. I love that flip your lid kit. One of the best things I did on this truck. I'm still using body pins. I'm not a big fan of magnets. It's just like I tumble the crap out of this car. I beat this car. So I don't know that magnets would work for me. Let's see. Do those guys at RC Juice have a storefront for the Hobby Star batteries? They don't have it. No, they don't have an actual storefront. They're just actually really close to my house, and got a lucky chance to meet those guys and got the chance to go check it out. So they don't have an actual storefront for that. But have you made the trip to the coast and RPP hobby? I have not. I mean, I've been to the coast several times. My brother lives in San Francisco, so I go visit him, check out the Bay Area, and been south to Santa Cruz and some of that stuff. So yeah. Oh, CP is Cameron Park. I don't know where that is. I don't know where most of the little towns are. Now, I'm not saying Cameron Park's little. I have no idea how big it is. I just, not being in California very long, it's taken me a little while to learn all my whatever you want to call it, landmarks. Can AR-44s work under a Wraith? I'm looking to try building a 1.9 Wraith. I think they can. I mean, anything can. You can make anything work, and those will work under there if you do some work. Sorry, I meant with the Dingo axles one piece. I think you must mean deadbolt, not Dingo. That's where I was confused. This is a deadbolt, not a Dingo. The Dingo was the silver one with the big flares and all that stuff. Similar, but different. PHX represent Phoenix. I assume that means. I am ridiculously far behind. There's only factory C channels. I don't know if there's only factory C channels. I think there's some milled ones as well. But either way, they're still better than a flat rail anything. I would go as far as saying that I would rather run a Charisma Coyote flimsy C channel than flat rail. Are you reading the top chat or the live chat? Because you're jumping around like crazy. I know it's because I keep like squirrel and see something at the top and read that and then jump down. Like I said, I have cold medicine brain. Or maybe I am just reading top chat. I don't know. I'll tell you, I don't even know why top chat comes up different than live chat. But let's see. Would you consider the BGR fab chassis? I assume you mean one of his custom chassis. I mean, if I had the right situation where I was looking for something, maybe, yeah, I see it. I like the smaller tube work of his steel chassis over aluminum though. So, let's see, do you like the snow trips? I do like going up the mountain. You know, me and my buddy Tony went and hiked up in the snow at Cisco Grove where Axial Fest is. We went and did a hike with the cars up there a couple weekends ago. Good time. You know, don't get to run in the snow all that often. Would you consider BGR fab chassis for the Honcho? No, I don't think it's the right car for this situation. Have you and Matt thought about doing a ground up build? No, we haven't really discussed that. Matt and I have, you know, the whole collaboration thing isn't something that like we had discussed long term. I mean, we have not discussed any further collaboration stuff at this point. We've just been head down trying to work on this project and finish. RC4 driving GCM or not C-channel? Exactly. There you go. There's two. If they need more info on the battery, if they need more info on the batteries, then go to rcjuice.com. Yeah, there you go. rcjuice.com. Yeah, I've also got a link to everything that I used in the videos where I use the batteries. All my BPC chassis rigs outperform any stock chassis. I'm not saying a flat chassis gives you there's reasons on the competitive side, you know, straight up performance and things like that. I get it. You can do a lot of things with flat rate chassis that aren't realistic to do with a C-channel chassis. I'm just saying it's not scale. I don't like it. We have C-channel. It looks so, just don't like them. We ran flat rail chassis way back then before we had good options. What if a flat rail chassis is the only thing a pocketbook can afford? Well, that's the situation that can happen a lot. We ran chassis that we cut out of cutting board when we were first starting. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You know, cutting board chassis were a legit thing back in the early days of crawling. We would go to Walmart and you could buy a big plastic cutting board for like $10. And out of that thing, we would cut out our chassis, our skid plate cross braces, and you just screw that thing together. That'll bring you back if you were old school. Let's see. Would you put a Rock 412 2S in the Honcho? I wouldn't put 2S in anything. 3S or go home. Rock 412 is a great motor, though. I'd absolutely put it in here. But it didn't fit in the budget build. But I would always go brushless if it fit the situation. So yes, absolutely would, but never on 2S. Always 3S. Let's see. I have the SCX10, works good in the snow. Let's see. You guys should produce a rail chassis to build an SCX8 1/8 scale with Wraith axles. That would be fun. But if you built that, then you would have to make sure that there was bodies for it and all those things. It's like this weird thing and all kinds of, you know, it's a slippery slope. It would be easy to produce the chassis, but then there would be nothing to put on it proper, things like that. Why do you have so much mic feedback? That's not, geez, that's Jim. Thanks. Narrow Stampede wheels and Geolanders, yes. For those of you who don't know what that means, back when we first started, there really wasn't good wheel and tire options for scale. So we would take Stampede rear wheels, which had like a deep offset, and you would cut them and narrow them to make them like a more scale width, because a Stampede wheel was wide. And then you would buy the, I think it was HPI Geolanders, which were a small 2.2, but with a Geolander tread pattern that looked good. And when you put them on a narrow wheel, they actually had like a pretty good scale appearance. Really nice. Wasn't the Toyzuki chassis flat? The Toyzuki chassis is flat, and I give Ben shit for it all the time. Unless you're talking about the Deadbolt budget build that I did with the Toyzuki front motor mount, and if that one you're talking about, that was the MS Tech frame rails, and those were not flat. Those were machined C-channel chassis. I still have cutting board shock towers. There you go. I run a couple setups on 3S, and I love it. My 10-year-old has been at Axial Fest in 2016, but didn't really have fun because his rig didn't last long. He's in love with his Ascender now. I'm just wondering if repairs will be allowed this year. I cannot speak to any rule changes or anything like that with the change of ownership and things like that. That is definitely not on me to to discuss or to voice, anything on. Let's see. My TLT chassis was made from cutting board, the good old, exactly. TLT axles and cutting board chassis. That's back in the OG days of scaling. Castle 1405 Mamba X or Rock 412 HD RX4. Whoa, those are two crazy different setups for a couple of reasons. Rock 412 HD is a 550 length motor. 1405 is like shorter than a 540 can. So you're talking like a massive difference in torque. Let's see. And price as well. That Mamba X 1405 combo is going to be way less than an RX4 and a Rock 412 HD. Now, if you're just talking regular Rock 412 versus 1405, I would still go Rock 412. More similar length cans. 1405, I think it's actually a 1406 motor, not a 1405. But 1406 motor, I ran, was okay. It was a little short on torque for me, in all honesty. That little shorter, I think I need that 1410 if I'm going to run it. 1410 and the Mamba X. So yeah, it's just RX4 is pretty sweet though. I do like the Mamba XO too. But I really like both of those. ESCs are coming so far, man. They're so good. Hey, I have a rock jock that collides with my VP Panhard bar. It's still all stock links on a 16.2 chassis. Is that normal? It can absolutely be normal. Depends on how your shocks are limiting and things like that. It's made to make all the clearances or a little bit better clearances even than a stock chassis or stock axle. But depending on how your shocks are set up and things like that, you'll absolutely get collision. It's just the fact of how a SCX10 chassis works. Can we get a milled aluminum C channel from VP? I'd like to. It'd be fun. We've talked about it. One day. What are the CNC machines making? Cool parts. Lots of cool parts. No, really. Tell us how you feel about flat ring wheel chassis. I've never been one to hold back an opinion. Do you like the mud or the snow better? I hate the snow less than I hate the mud. There you go. Fun fact of the day. Proline Moabs or backwards Masher 2Ks? Oh, that's such a hard question. It's like I almost lean toward. I was more of a Masher fan than I was the Moabs. Although I think the Moabs, depending on where you're at, they seem like they work better. But man, I love myself some Masher 2Ks. What would you do to set up? Sorry, like it keeps jumping around. Set up an SCX10-2 with portals, as in how would you do that right? Man, it depends on setups and things like that. It's so different. Everyone's got different, opinions and setup styles and things like that. I'd run it as low as possible. and it's just, I mean, I built it on my other rig, kind of a more custom rig, so that it's one of those things. Let's see. In a G55 turn and a max tie rod. Oh, yes. So, back then there was only so many options for links and things like that. So we'd use T-Max turnbuckles or Revo tire, tire. I don't remember what they were. It depends on the time, but you'd use those for the links and set everything up that way. Let's see. Vanquish needs to build an aluminum SCX-10-2 skid plate and frame braces. Frame braces maybe, skid plate not. I don't think that's not really where I'd put an aluminum. Aluminum axles I have no problem with. I don't really feel like the whole sticky thing is necessarily as true a situation, at least when you're using good aluminum. But for a skid plate, it just wouldn't be the application where I may probably do it. Let's see. Brushed or brushless? Always brushless, man. Are there any plans for licensed shocks from VP? You never know. Anything's possible. Who knows? Tired of rebuilding brush motors. Is a good brushless option to put in the Honcho that keeps good low end speed control for crawling. Heard brushless, not good for crawling. You're hearing an old opinion. Brushless is killing it for crawling anymore. ESCs has come so far. I mean, I haven't run anything but brushless as far, like, I've been only running brushless as my preferred setup for, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. So tons of good brushless setups for straight crawling. I think I go over it specifically. I think I have in my first SCX-10-2 build series, I think I have a specific brushless motor episode or brushless setup episode, things like that. So yeah, I go over it like in depth and talk about some options and things and stuff like that. Thoughts on a Wraith 2.0? The actual Wraith 2.0 built by Marked Motorsports was pretty cool. If they did it based on that and did it well, I could see it. It would be kind of cool. I like your shirt. Thank you for my shirt. I do like it as well. What's up from CDA, Idaho? I wonder if CDA is the actual name of the town. Any new wheel releases or updates from CO 1.9? No new wheel releases right now. Just trying to keep up on, wheels get done, they go up, they sell. It's just got to try and do what we can. Josh, would you prefer the Mamba X on the Bomber or the Wraith? Gearing is different. That doesn't really matter as far as the Mamba X. You could run either. So the gearing may be different, but no matter what, you can get the gearing to about where you want it. You need it. You adjust the pinion and spur. The overall gear ratio will get to the ones where you want. So it's just, you just got to get, my gearing, I normally run somewhere between like 40 and 45 to 1 overall ratio. So you can always check, any axial manual, and there will always be a gear chart in there in case you're not good at calculating gear ratios yourself. But there's always this little gear chart, and it tells you, depending on what spur and what pinion you have, what your overall gear ratio will be. So, for example, on this one, if you're running a 56-tooth spur and a 12-tooth pinion, you'll be at 45.5 to 1. So this is a handy chart to have, something like this, if you're not good at calculating gear ratios yourself. Any interest in trying to do a big group trail run at Axial Fest? Maybe a post or start time on social media, and we could meet at Trailhead. Absolutely. probably a great idea. Hopefully, yeah, let's do it. Make it. It's a plan. Big group trail run. Honchos only. I'm just kidding. Bring whatever you have. Don't care. Deadbolt budget build for under 300 clams. I used 0 clams on this one, so that sounds pretty easy. I don't know how much a clam is worth. I can't imagine that clam would be less than a couple of bucks. Let's see. They need to release a 1.9 rate 2.0. I agree. It'd be fun. Wide wheels or skinny wheels? That's a debatable term, and it depends on the situation. I really like the 0.8 wide 1.9s. I really like a 1.2 inch wide 2.2. And that is what we sell, and it's because that's what I like. The 0.8 1.9 is what has always been sold, but the 1.2 2.2 was something I made the decision on. A deadbolt budget build for under 300 years of corn. How about a non-threaded version of the scale shocks for leaf trucks? There's just so, like, sure, you could build things specifically for that, but there's so few leaf trucks that I don't think that's probably a realistic thing. Bring all the flat rail chassis. The budget, the Axial Fest trail run will be Honchos only and no flat rail chassis. New rules. I'm going to start writing them down now. No 2-speeds, no flat rail chassis. No, what else do I not like? No leaf springs. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Will the RC CarCast ever make a return? Oh man, I think that life has happened in a lot of ways, and I don't think that we will see the RC CarCast return. How do you decide what KV brushless motor to get? Personally, as a rule of thumb for me, for what I like to try and target between 3,000 and 3,300 kV for like my sweet spot, and that kind of works out for me in a 1.9 or a 2.2. It just feels about right. A little bit on either side of that still works pretty well, and you can kind of gear accordingly. But the further away you get from that, the harder it is to get it back to where I really like, and that's running 3S and with that overall gear ratio that I was saying. So, it kind of depends. For me, that's my sweet spot. I want to say that I've enjoyed the series with both of you. Thanks for the good times. Have some modding to do. Thank you for the comment, Mr. Calgary. Vancourt. Are you going to debut a new Vanquish Easy Up this year at Axial Fest? Funny story for those of you who weren't at Axial Fest last year. Vanquish, we here had ordered a brand new big 10x20 custom printed Easy Up with big back wall printing and all that. And it was late. We ordered it direct from Easy Up. Here's the date we need it by. Not a problem. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. Waiting on it. It's like getting time. I'm like, make a phone call. I'm like, where's our Easy Up? Like, where is this thing? They kind of like, oh, well, it'll be ready on this date. I'm like, that's 5 days after the event. You told me it was going to be ready. I need it. So they apologize. They see where they messed up, where they agreed. And they say, okay, we're next daying this Easy Up to you, which was the day that I needed to leave for Axial Fest. Now, granted, it's like an hour and a half up the hill, so it's not exactly a crazy drive, but waiting. FedEx truck comes and basically take it out of the FedEx truck, put it right in the back of my Jeep, and head up the hill to Axial Fest. We get there, and we're unpacking it, and these guys are opening it, and they say, why does it say BFG on it? And I thought they were screwing with me. And they're like, and then they pulled out, and they're like holding the top and looking at me like, what is going on? And I look, and they sent us somebody else's Easy Up, and it was Team Hybrid. which is a drift team out of Southern California. And we got the proper back wall, but the top of this 10 by 20 canopy says Team Hybrid, Race Drift, whatever. And it was just, are you kidding me? Not happy about it. Why the hate for 2-speeds? There's no reason, no need for a 2-speed with an electric car like this. Brushless technology has come far enough. You can get everything that a 2-speed can do out of a good brushless setup. And it will have less failure points, the whole deal. No reason for 2-speeds. No winches and sand ladders. Yes. Honcho run, I forgot, well, no flat rail chassis, no winches, and no sand ladders. Josh, similar question. I have Holmes Hobbies 27 turn 540 brushed. Should I keep that for the SCX-N2, or can I use it in the Wraith with different gearing? You can use that in the Wraith. I have a budget build on the Wraith, Poison Spider Wraith, where I use a very similar motor. You should go check out that video for my explanation. I like my TF2 unleashed with a 2-speed. There you go. Some people will like that. I do not. You should 3D print a Cummins inline 4 for the Honcho like you did the Ram Power Wagon. I don't think it's very fitting for this truck. Plus, that was, it's not the right scale for it or anything like that. I don't think so. Do you like the scale or non-scale trucks? I like scale trucks. What do you think of the Tekin servos? I haven't ran one yet, but they look nice. Holy crap, I never got a notification for the live. Damn YouTube. Agreed. Go hit the notification bell. Everybody go hit notification. I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks, everybody who watches. We're an hour and 21 in. Voice is barely hanging on, like by a thread. Let's see. Sensors or sensorless? I only run censored. Sensorless just isn't something I do. Josh came on less than a minute after Matt signed off. Yes, I had mine already set to go, and just waiting for Matt to finish, and then I hit go right away. So did you use it? Yes, we did use the Easy Up, but it had the right back walls. And it's funny that we were in a spot where not a lot of people are like looking up. It looks like, I don't know. Hopefully this year's better, although it's coming really quick. I should probably order one if we're going to. I am not the owner of Vanquish. Is there a water resistant motor? We get plenty wet up here. Yeah, a lot of motors. The new Tekin Rock 412s are waterproof. I think the Castle motors are all waterproof as well. Holmes Hobbies, I believe, has waterproof motors. You can get waterproof brushless systems. Thanks, Josh, for answering all my questions. See you at the swap meet. Yes, I'll be there. I'll try to get there as early as possible. 3D print a Toyota D6. Lamps are okay. I don't know what that means. I love lamp. Are you going to talk for 2 hours too? Probably pretty close. I don't know. Maybe not. I've got a cold, or I don't have a cold. I have allergies or sinus problems or something going on. That's why I have this super, awesome, messed up voice. I should start singing Smelly Cat. Let's see. Do you like bigger or smaller trucks? In general, I would say that I would lean towards a larger truck versus a smaller truck. Like I don't own any of like the 10-inch wheelbase hard body type trucks, things like that. I like them to be around 12, 13 inches. I'm a child. Let's see. Machine in the background's busy making our top secret flat rail chassis. It's exactly what they're doing. Okay, work in the morning. Obviously, thanks for watching this Phoenix Amateur RC Chrome. I do have the bell clicked on just at the beginning. YouTube Red. Ooh, you're a YouTube Red guy. There you go. Very nice. What's the difference between a sensor and a sensorless? One of them has a sensor, and one of them is less. A sensor just tells the motor which way it's spinning. A sensorless motor, when you apply power the first time, it doesn't necessarily know which way or position that it's in. So it might start to kind of spin the other way before it gets its position and starts to spin the correct way. That's where cogging came from in sensorless motors. That's a word you'll hear people say, is that, they would come up, nudge into something and try to apply power, and the motor would kind of get this weird stutter and it wouldn't want to start, and then it would kind of finally get going and kind of lurch. So that's where cogging came from. A sensor lets the motor know what direction that it's supposed to be moving to try and make sure things go in the correct way. Excuse me. Beware my 2-inch Punisher. Smelly cat, what are they feeding? Someone else is a Friends fan. Let's see. If you could only do one RC event, what would it be? Axial Fest. It's a great event. Tons of people. You get to see, it's the event I go to with the most people. You get to meet the most people, talk to the most people about RC cars. I have awesome trails. John does an amazing job with the trails. I'll give him that. And it's like not even a question. If I could only do one, yes, that's the one. That's where I would be. What rims are a good complement for the portal axles? Rims are a personal preference thing. Personally, I'm running the Machetes. The Vanquish wheels have a really high clearance. Here, I'm looking at the video trying to point to here, but there's a ton of clearance in the backside of a Vanquish wheel. So there's a big advantage to using them. You can suck them in as much as possible. This truck with portals is basically the same width as my so with these tires are much wider than my little Proline. Try and get everything. So, like I said, I'll use the rear so it all stays straight. So these tires are much wider than these little Prolines, but even with the portal axles and everything, I'm basically at the same width as a non-portal axle. And I went with a smaller hub on these, and 2 weeks ago. So having a wheel that gives you that extra clearance in the back, it pays off. But what do we say? Make brown shoes and black shoes. Find the wheels you like. Short wheelbase trucks are for those of us who know how to drive. No, that's not necessarily true. You just have to hit bigger lines. I'm going to my first comp Sunday. Any recommendations running the CRC Jeep with Curry F9s, Incision shocks, Mamba? That's a really good question, Tanner. Line choice is important, but don't look outside the box. Course designers will put a gate here and a gate here, and everybody all day will drive from this gate to this gate. Even if it ends up being difficult in the middle, sometimes if you leave this gate but drive over here first, don't necessarily just drive from here to here if it's difficult. Maybe sometimes drive from here and around to get there. I don't know. Comps are fun, man. I miss a lot of the stuff about comps. What is your favorite truck? That changes all the time, and different things for different times, and I don't know. I don't know what my favorite truck is right now. Where's Ella from VP? I don't know what that means. Non-Honcho related question. Non-Honcho related question. I want to go single speed in the TRX4. What brushless would you recommend for general trailing with gearing in it? with the gear unit. I think any of the other brushless systems I've probably talked about would still be what I would go with. It's no different. You just got to look at overall gear ratio, and overall gear ratio is all that matters. So just find out where the chart you need to be. Find something around that 3,000 kV. Let's see. Did you ever check into the number 2 incision hub clearance for me? I didn't, Kevin. Sorry. John has a team: Revis, Barton, Dan, Brandon, Jonathan, plus a lot more. I think that. Oh, for Axial Fest, yes. Has anyone ever attended RCX? Canceled it last year, and the dates for this year haven't been announced. I did not know RCX was canceled last year. I have not attended it. It seems like that show kind of trailed off in quality. Otherwise, I would have made the trip. But let's see. When you guys going to make VP video on the portal axis? I don't know what you mean by that specifically. I'll probably make more. I'll make more specific videos on it, but it'll be a little bit. Hello, if you see this. Hello back. I saw that. Let's see. Dollar A-Trail. I don't know what that means. At least I got towards the end, caught up with comments. We're an hour and 31 in. I think that I probably look as bad as I sound, which is half as bad as I feel. Yeah. So I think that we're going to call this one early. I'll let Matt take the longest live stream token, trophy, whatever word I should have used there. 29 more minutes. I don't know that I have it in me. So yeah, I think that we're gonna call this one, and that is gonna do it. And that's gonna be the last official Honcho budget build video for a while. We're going to be done. So it's been a good time. I had a lot of fun. It reminds me why I don't do budget build videos all the time, because there's so much work. But all of you guys, thanks for all the comments tonight. Thanks for all the comments on the last videos. If anybody watched all the videos and all the live streams and everything, that would be a lot of minutes of your life that you donated. So I appreciate that as well. Be on here soon. And that's it. Thank you and good night.